And a very good morning and welcome to the Key Centre for Day 4 of the GIO 2018 IWRF Wheelchair Rugby World Championship. Should be a superb day of action. We're getting underway with a nice little local derby involving Australia and Ireland. John O'Farr and Kelvin Hewitt in commentary. Kelvin, great to have you here in the broadcast box. You're a Kiwi. How do you think the Australians will go against the Irish?
Well, to be honest, the Australians have been one of the most dominant teams here so far in this tournament. So I think the Irish have got a right job on their hands here. It's a right job to stop Riley Batt in itself. But let's hope the Irish can give them a right battle today.
So Ireland with possession of the ball. O'Hanlon has it there for them. Just tries to work his way around. You can see McCarthy there on his right. Now just goes back to the flank. O'Hanlon moves inside that attacking quarter. Great work from Riley Batt in defence. Pops the pass away to Moylan. Moylan just holds his ground. Now just tries to get away from a couple. McCarthy providing some protection. It blocks Bondi out. Clever pass over the top. Brilliant goal. Michael O'Hanlon gets the points for the Irish. And we're one apiece with 45 seconds to go in the game. That's strong work from the Irish there. They didn't panic under pressure there, Kelvin.
No, they did very well to hold the ball, take time away from the Aussies, find the correct pass in the correct space to get over for that try.
And Riley Batt gets the try on that occasion. So 2-1 in favour of the Australian side. Undefeated so far in this tournament. They had the win over the Kiwis on the opening day. Then, of course, they beat Sweden, which was a terrific contest, 71-38. Had the privilege of calling that one at the Netball Centre. And then yesterday, just too good for Denmark as Moylan goes in for the Irish. And we're two apiece. So undefeated so far. And Ireland, Kelvin, they're on the other side of that ledger. They're looking for their first win in their first appearance of this tournament. Yeah,
well, we played them yesterday and we thought it was going to be a right battle. They had beaten us previously twice over in the qualifiers. And we were thinking it was going to be a right battle, but unfortunately for the Irish, we come away with the victory there.
So the brother of Rob Hewitt, do you give your brother some advice out there on the court?
Well, I tend to get a bit vocal and give him a bit of a stick like he would me, but he does us proud in the Hewitt family.
So ball inbound nicely to Hanlon. And now it goes 4-2 in the way of Australia, so really starting to assert their authority early doors in this one. 6.5 to go before quarter time. O'Hanlon just holds up the pass. Just take us through that ruling there, Kelvin. What was going on with the refs there?
O'Hanlon could not get a pass away, so he has called a timeout, which will give the Irish a 30-second breather just to collect their thoughts, go over a few strategies of how they're going to get the ball over the half. So now they're just collecting their thoughts and trying to get processes in place to see how they can get through this Australian defence.
So the Irish players back on court. Riley Batt there on screen, one of the dominant players for the Australian side. His try tally would be absolutely enormous. Of course, the Australians, they take on the Team Japan side tonight. That'll be at 6:30 here at the Key Centre. It should be a wonderful contest. Myself and Molly Gray will commentate all the action of that one as Deneen just goes out of bounds.
Deneen there has called a timeout just before going out. So that's the second timeout used by the Irish in the first period here.
So the Irish to inbound it. McCarthy there at the bottom of your screen. Tries to work it into Deneen. Couldn't quite get it. Riley Batt tapped it away, but Deneen will go after it, and Riley Batt will come through. So great presence and awareness there from the New South Welshman, going through for the try and building on the lead. So the margin goes back to 3 points. The ball just goes loose. Now Moylan going after that molten ball. Can he pick it up close to the line? Almost takes out part of the Aussie bench there in the preceding run. But just starting to just panic a little bit, the Irish here, in this early stanza of the game, Kelvin.
Yeah, it was very unlike them yesterday. They've obviously got a lot stronger defence than the Australians with Riley, Bondi there. I think they just got to compose themselves, take a deep breath and not get flustered with each other, because it's not going to help their game playing against this Australian lineup.
And a great head-on shot there of Riley Batt scoring the goal. Of course, our broadcast partner, Be Live Streaming. It's great to have them a part of the team right across the 6 days of this championship. They're doing a fantastic job. All the boys working the different camera angles and broadcasting it on the various live streams from here at the Key Centre and the Netball Centre as Deneen calls a timeout. 6-2 in favour of Australia with 6 to play.
Yeah, that's the third. Like we've seen in all close battles here at this tournament, timeouts can be an absolute key to winning that type battle, and Ireland have chewed through 3 of theirs. That's proving that Australia have got some good defence on them at this present point in moment.
Of course, it's the first ever meeting between these two sides at a wheelchair rugby world champs, and it's Ireland's 4th ever game in the competition history. Australia, they've featured in every edition since its inception in 1995. The host nation, of course, Australia, they are ranked 1st, and Ireland are 19th. As McCarthy inbounds, Moylan just struggles to get the molten ball in his hands, and Riley Batt will just tap it loose, but it'll come back for Australia. You can see Chris Bond on the right of your screen just about to inbound it.
And that there was the first timeout used by Australia. A very good call by Riley just to give Australia the ball back and set up again.
Ball goes inbound nicely to Riley Batt. Very simple stuff from the Australians, and the Steelers build on their lead. 7-2 now, the margin 5 points. I'd be interested to get your thoughts on this one, Kelvin. Brad Duberly, the coach of the Steelers, he's really been changing up the way that the Australians play in terms of their game management, when to bring on players, when to take them off, just that variation that he has across the side.
Well, he's got a strong team. I mean, you take off Riley and that, and you bring in on a guy like Jaden. They don't lose much there in the context of ability and function. So he's playing it very well, keeping his stars like Riley and Bondi nice and not overworked. Fresh would be the correct term. And it gives these other up-and-coming Australians a real chance to show the world what they've got on this big stage. So I think he's playing it very smart. There's going to be some tougher battles for Australia later on when we get to the playoff matches, and a fresh Riley could be the difference.
So nice work there from Riley Batt. He gets another try to the tally. 8-3 in favour of the Australians. A big thank you to our naming rights sponsor, GIO, City, Land Rover. Of course, the wonderful support from the Australian government, the state government, and Sydney.com. And now great support from the Australian Defence Force, the Navy, Rugby AU, and Wheelchair Sports New South Wales. A big thank you to all of those sponsors. And, of course, the ball that they're throwing around the court is the Molten Ball, which is the official IWRF ball of the tournament. And Alan Dineen gets the points there and the try for the Irish. So 8-4, margin starting to come back a little bit. Seems like they've got a little bit more composure there, Ireland, now.
Yeah. They've started to use their screens a lot better, and keeping Riley as far away from the ball as possible by using the screen helps that, and that just helps them get over half in time. They can reassess, compose themselves, and try and find a way through this Australian defence. As long as they stay composed and not panic, Ireland could bring this back here.
So great pass down for Riley Batt from Chris Bond. And Australia bring that margin back to 5 points. Of course, Ireland chasing for their first win of the tournament. It'll be a massive upset if they can cause a win here today. Nice little head-on shot there as the Irish just get set for the inbound. It'll be Shane Delaney that's inbound and gives it away to Moylan. Moylan just holds it up. Delaney works it nicely. McCarthy working some protection up court, but here comes Moylan. Great little battle with Bondi. The two number 10s come together. Bondi can't quite get him. And the rampaging machine that is Thomas Moylan gets another try for the Irish. That was great work up that left flank, Kelvin.
Oh, that is great speed there. When you're watching two guys going full flight like that, it just goes to prove what Moylan can do for the Irish given a chance. Very well done by Moylan. Ireland will need a lot more of that.
And strong work there from Chris Bond, just getting the try on that occasion. So Australia just starting to peg back. Ireland, they look settled, they look composed, but then Australia put on a play like we've just seen there, and they just dominate that control as well as Dineen gets the inbound from Delaney. And Dineen works his way nicely just up that right flank. Nice little protection there from McCarthy. Now comes across there. Delaney protects him nicely. There's Moylan. Good protection from McCarthy. And Thomas Moylan goes back-to-back for the Irish and gets another try. So 10-6, the margin goes back to 4. And it's just over 4 to play in this first term. Now, if you're in the market for a new wheelchair rugby chair this Friday, August 10, at these championships, IWRF, they'll auction off a Vesco competition wheelchair. It's valued at almost $9,000. Auction proceeds, they'll go to support the IWRF Hall of Fame, which is sponsored by Vesco Metalcraft. I encourage you to get involved. Head online for more information, iwrf.com. for all those details. And a $9,000 wheelchair, it's a pretty great auction come Friday, Kelvin.
Oh, that is a great auction. That's a great prize to win as well. They, as you watch them, they bash around. They're very sturdy. They hold together well, and you couldn't ask for much better product than that.
So that'll be an exciting auction, and let's hope we can raise a lot of money for a really great cause, and that IWRF Hall of Fame as we go back to the action here. And it's Riley Batt that takes it to the line, and Moylan tried to battle with him nicely there, didn't he? But just the size and strength of Riley Batt close to the try line, as we saw there, Kelvin, was just too good for the Aussies.
Yeah, it's really hard to stop Riley that close to the line. Moylan did all he could, but unfortunately Riley was just too strong and just that shade too quick to get through there.
Pass is about to be inbound there from Delaney. Delaney will try and work it.
But that looks like Ireland have just used their final timeout to just reassess what they're trying to do here. They seem to get things working well, but the lows of Australia really do a good job on stopping one of those highs and giving Bondi and Riley the chance to defend one player. That's very hard to do for Ireland to get away from Riley and Bondi.
Is there, for those that don't know, obviously I know, but for the audience that don't know, how many timeouts do you get per quarter, or is it per game? Or is there a limit there?
You get 4 per game, 4 player timeouts that they can use on the court per game. So now Ireland are out for the rest of the game.
Okay.
And you also have the option of 2 coaches' timeouts that the coach can call from the bench.
Sure.
And you only get 2 of them for the whole game. So Ireland have now used their 4 timeouts for this game. So it's going to be a tough slog for them for the rest.
Okay, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out as Moylan goes through for points for Ireland there. 11-7, the margin to 4. Just over 4 to play. A couple of changes as Fawcett gives the ball inbound to Riley Batt. Great catch there from Bondi mid-court. And he'll go through from the try. So they've made a couple of changes as Ben Fawcett has come on there. And Ryan Scott, the Queenslander. So that's the 2 changes for the Aussies. Chris Bond and Riley Batt still out there. The 2 high pointers, of course, Riley the 3.5 and Chris Bond, he also is that 3.5. So play it nicely from Deneen. He'll try and work it there. Tries to just go inside that attacking key, but some work to do. Great defensive work from Fawcett. Protecting it nicely as Riley Batt. He comes like a little bulldog at Deneen. And Deneen just charges hard at the line. Just tries to get the nice pass away and does. And Moylan finishes it. Pretty special try there from the Irish, Kelvin.
That was very good patience from the Irish. They worked their way up court slowly using their screens, and they tried to just keep Riley and Bondi as far away as possible from Moylan, and they did that. Nice pass from Deneen gives Irish a try.
So 13-8 in favour of Australia. You're probably hearing the dulcet tones across the coverage of the court announcer, Gary Lowe. Gary doing a wonderful job the last 4 days. He's here right up until Friday, where we will battle for gold. Now, can you think of 2 teams that are possibly going to be here? Are you brave enough to tip?
Well, if I had to put my house on it right now, I would have to say Australia, with the way they've been playing recently. They've been strong throughout. They're giving plenty of rest to their key players up top. I wouldn't go as far as saying Australia. And from what I've seen from America, it looks like it's going to be hard to stop America getting here. They've played very well. They keep composed in very tight situations, and they seem to come away with the points when it matters. So
okay.
At this point of this tournament, USA-Australia final wouldn't be far from it. Yeah. And what a battle that would be.
Oh, it'll be a terrific battle. Well, one that I sort of think is a grand final preview or a World Cup final is Australia-Japan, and that'll be tonight here at the Key Centre at 6:30. So Japanese team, they're undefeated at the moment. They've just been playing well, and I think that's going to be a pretty good battle, obviously, tonight. But in a World Cup final, I think that might just step up a little bit, because I've noticed the change in Team Japan. They seem to get a little bit more clinical and a little bit more disciplined as the tournament goes on in their preparations.
Yeah, that's correct. And the Japanese, we'll get to see tonight, won't we? We'll get to see what the Japanese have against the Australians. But for the Japanese yesterday, they got away with a lucky one against the Swedes. The Swedish, sorry.
Yep.
They only got a 2-point victory over them.
Yeah.
Now that was a very big surprise here, but you can't write the Japanese off neither. It'll all depend on the outcome to see who they play on the other side. because if Japan come up against America, that there's going to be a right battle to see all come up against Australia.
Yeah, your fellow Kiwi, Bevan Jenkinson, and I called that game, and it was a terrific contest. Bev and I both thought that either it was going to go to overtime or Sweden were going to sneak home and get that massive upset. It was a terrific game as Chris Bond goes through for the try there. 14-10 becomes 15-10 for the Aussies with just over 2 to play in this first term.
Yeah, that was our thoughts in the stadium here. Everyone was really getting behind Sweden there because it's lovely to see one of these lower-ranked countries really give it to the top 3 or 4 teams in the world. But unfortunately for Sweden, they burned all their timeouts early. They run out of breath, and Japanese, being the clinical team that they are, they didn't look at all surprised that they came away with a victory there. They held their own and they took the chances. And unlucky for Sweden. And
Deneen gets that try for Ireland, as you were talking there. And it was a great improvement from Sweden because they were beaten by Denmark in the early stages of the competition. And then, of course, they've really improved, obviously, because they're challenging Japan as Riley Batt goes through for another try. 16-11 now in favour of the Australians, just under 2 minutes to play. Nice little head-on shot there of the battles going on court as Delaney will get set again for Ireland. Comes in back there for Deneen. Deneen tries to work his way through. Battling hard. Riley Batt, you can see on the fringes, coming back towards the middle. Got to get outside that attacking line. Goes inside halfway line. Nice pass across to Moylan. Moylan under some pressure, but did particularly well with limited real estate, and he gets a terrific try. Jeez, that's wonderful stuff there from Thomas Moylan, Kelvin.
You don't see many people sneak through a corner on Riley like that. This Moylan is going to be a star for the future. If he keeps up with Riley like this, that's as you can see here, great speed by both players. It's good to see Ireland having some sort of weaponry coming through the world rankings also.
So just over 90 seconds to play, as you can see in this first term. Australia still lead at 17-12. It's not a fair comparison to say that Australia are very much in control because this Irish side, Kelvin, they're really trying. They're fighting out there, aren't they?
They're not giving up, and that's what we like to see by the lower-ranked countries. They're not afraid to tussle with the big dogs like the Australians, the Japanese, the Americans. So I think the Irish won't go away. They're always going to keep working hard, and we had a timeout there. They're always going to be working hard here, and Aussie just have to stay composed and keep in control of the game.
So it'll come to a halt at the moment. Of course, 2018 marks the 25th anniversary of the International Wheelchair Rugby Federation. It was created back in 1993. It was the governing body for the sport of wheelchair rugby. The IWRF, they'd love to thank all the athletes, the coaches, the officials, the volunteers, and the supporters who have contributed to this wonderful sport. And they look forward to many, many more years of growing the global sport of the wheelchair rugby. And I've noticed in my 6 years in being involved in this sport, it's really a family, isn't it, Kelvin?
It is, yeah. I've never met anyone that you could dislike in a wheelchair. They're all very polite people. They're all very loving, and they're all very helpful. You watch players out there giving each other tips, trying to just create a stronger, better environment to play the sport, and it's really good to see. I mean, you can see it by the crowd, the families of people, the family and friends coming to support not only their own country but everyone else in the sport. It's amazing sport, and it's great to see. Yeah,
we've got a number of school kids here today to have a look at the action, and hopefully they're obviously the future in terms of an audience to see this game. But yeah, you're absolutely right. But the thing that's impressed me is it's not just the Australians that have been bringing the crowds. The Irish have had an enormous support. They've got plenty of their fans in their corner here today, I can see in the stands. And a lot of the other teams, the Kiwis, they have a lot of attention. I think they took on, was it Japan early doors at the Netball Centre? And you were saying off air that they got so much support for them.
Yeah, it was really amazing to see the school kids getting in behind a country that wasn't their own. It really makes for a great atmosphere to watch a game, and when you get that crowd noise coming in, mistakes happen, and it really adds to the atmosphere of the event. It's great to see.
So Australia starting to get out to a nice lead here. 6 points the margin, 19-13 in favour of the Irish. And it goes just towards Moylan, who gets it nicely. And he goes through for the points. So it was great work there, early doors from Alan Deneen. He gave the ball inbound, as you could see, and Moylan, a nice little reach out for the Molten ball, and they go in for the try. Bondi gives it nicely to Riley Batt. Great work there from Ryan Scott in protection, but it comes across nicely. And it's rare that you see a New South Wales player combine with a Queenslander, but haven't they done it well on that occasion?
Oh, they've done it well their whole career, but yeah, you're correct. It's very rare to see a New South Welshman and a Queenslander getting along so well.
Is it a bit like a North Islander and a South Islander in New Zealand?
It could be a bit pretty similar to that, but those two have a great connection, they have a great bond, and they just know each other's games so well. They just pop up in all the right places, and that's what really makes Australia so strong.
So we've just got a timeout called here. Looks like it'll be inbound here in a second with, looks like Chris Bond is going over to that corner.
Yeah, that was forced a direct turnover because of the timeout. Ireland don't have any timeouts left, so any time they call a timeout, it'll be a direct turnover to Australia. It's something you don't want to be doing in this position in a close game. That could be make or break.
So Riley Batt just counting down the clock. You can see it at 25 seconds now. That's the shot and game clock. The shot clock is just a couple of seconds in front of it at 18 seconds. So now Riley Batt just slowly taking his time. A couple of players going in there. Bondi just creating a nice little passage for himself. Possibly a point, but it's Riley Batt, strong and hard. And Shane Delaney couldn't quite stop him on that occasion. So another try for the Australians. And Riley Batt gets another for his total. 21-14 as we count down the final seconds. You can hear the crowd in the background counting it down. Siren sounds, and that's quarter time here at the Key Centre in this fourth day, opening day clash. 21-14 in favour of Australia at quarter time. John O'Farr, Kelvin Hewitt in commentary. We hope you're enjoying the coverage. We'll take a break. On the other side, all the action of the second term.
Hello, Jean. Good of you to let your husband borrow your brand new car. Your insurance covers you, though, right?
I think so.
Ah, Jenny, you got a new employee and a new Narazzo 1300. That machine's insured, isn't it? Date night, eh?
Yeah, and our daughter's having a few friends over.
Yeah, I saw that on social media. I take it your home is insured for that. Don't just think you're covered, know you are with GIO.
See, feel, climb. First out, last in. Look round corners, look in crannies. Go down dark alleys, lose yourself. Catch a lift, break new ground. Turn things inside out. Go walkabout, get set. Go after the goosebumps. Never stop discovering.
Linda, Lindsay, look at you two. Date night?
Our daughter set it up.
Well, that is a thoughtful child.
I know, right? She even booked us dinner in a hotel. She might even have a few friends over.
Yeah, I reckon there's 120 people coming to your house tonight. You are insured, aren't you? Don't just think your home is covered. Know it is, with accidental damage cover with GIO Platinum Home Insurance.
Welcome back to the second quarter action at the Key Centre. You're watching Australia and Ireland, and as you can see, Australia leading at 21-14 at the moment. John O'Farr and Kelvin Hewitt in commentary this afternoon and this morning. And, of course, Australia just working it nicely there with Andrew Edmondson, the new man on the court. He works it nicely to Warne, and Jaden Warne positioned himself there. I'm not sure whether that was accidental and it worked there, Kelvin, but they certainly got the try on the occasion.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it's quite good to be able to see when the ball comes, but I don't think he planned to be backwards. But hey, you only need two wheels, whether it's front or back, to get over that line to be awarded a try, and it paid dividends for the Australians there.
So Thomas Moylan getting the try for Ireland to get them a little closer to the Australians. 22-15. Jason Lees on the court. Of course, his little girl Dakota, I'm sure she'll be watching Dad do his best for the Australians out there. Little Coda Bear. It goes to Jason Lees now. And he just tries to work it inbound, but just got himself a little bit stuck close to that line. And I think, will the possession stay with Australia here, Kelvin?
Yeah, yes, it will. He's called timeout at a perfect time there. Moreland was about to hit him back over half. Calls his timeout, and it was well done by Andrew Lees to just call that timeout and not panic and throw a 50-50 ball away. But then again, it was good defence by Moreland to see him close to the line and come in and attack him.
So you can see the coaching staff just having a chat with the Australians. A fresh 4 on the court. Andrew Harrison, Andrew Edmondson, Jaden Warne and Jason Lees. That's your 4 for Australia. And Jaden Warne, the Victorian. Jabs goes through for another try. So you mentioned off air that we were talking about the Australians and how much versatility they have. You take a player like Riley Batt off, but you put a player like Jaden Warne on and you don't really lose much, do you?
No, well, the Australian team is so tight-knit. They teach each other, they learn from each other, they control the game the same way, and it's just like a tight-knit family. They know what's happening when one comes on and one goes off. They know their roles well, and it's a very hard thing for a defending team when Aussie can just chop and change with such quality on the bench.
So Edmondson works his way nicely through mid-court. Great protection from Jason Lees. Goes hard at the line, Edmo. Battles around Moylan. A tough thing to do, but he makes it look very, very easy. And Ireland will now inbound it. Nice work from Delaney into Deneen. Deneen, McCarthy you can see just in front in the 2-jumper. Working his way nicely in protection, but it's Moylan that has it. Bit of a 2-on-1 protection line with Deneen and McCarthy as Moylan takes it hard at the line. Goes past Edmondson. Great protection there from Harrow on the right flank. Forces him to go the other way. Just closer to that near side comes Moylan. Spreads the gap. Brilliant work. I think it was Delaney close to the line there. Yes, it was. Who was providing nice little protection and it created the hole there for Moylan to score the try.
Yeah, he held that corner very well for Moylan to go through there. That's a good tactic by the low pointer there. Now the Aussies have found themselves without a timeout, and they've trapped Edmondson down low, and we've got Moylan with the turnover.
So it gives it away to Deneen. Great work from Moylan and Deneen to just alleviate some pressure there for them. Starting to get that margin back there. 6 points you can see, 24-18. Just over 6 to play in this half. If you've never seen this sport before, it's 4 quarters of 8 minutes. And then, of course, we just keep going into overtime until we get a result. Can you remember the longest game you've seen into overtime? I think mine was 3 times.
I've only seen 2. So,
right.
That's the longest for me. I'm a bit of a fresh face when it comes to wheelchair rugby. I only got introduced to it through my brother's accident.
Yep.
And that was in 2009.
Okay.
So, I've only seen 2. So... and that there goes to show just the strength and the fitness these players require to play those extra minutes at a high level with such a speed. It's full character to the guys out on court.
So Andrew Harrison getting the points for the Australians, 25-18, the margin to 7 as Deneen tries to work his way through. The little bulldog charging hard. Andrew Harrison locks him up. Nice work defensively from him. Here comes Jabs, try to get through in there in Jaden Warne. Comes back for Moylan. Deneen did well to get the pass away there. Now Moylan tries to get that molten ball away and down over the try line. Plays his way nicely through the attacking line. Harrow does well. So too Warne. Here comes the Irish side. Moylan, Zet left and right and through. Great goal. Strong stuff from the Irish side. They didn't panic there, Kelvin, and just got the job done on that particular occasion.
Yeah, Moylan called McCarthy over. Got the pick on Warne, allowed Moylan an outlet, and that's all he needed. Unfortunately for Australia, they couldn't stop a flying Moylan.
And a wonderful moment for Jason Lees as he gets his first try for the competition. So a terrific achievement for him. Looks like he's calling for a tire, is he?
He's calling for help as he's stuck there, and you can see the Australians have gone back to attack the key, to defend the key, I apologise. So it's very well done by McCarthy there just to keep Lees out of the front of the key there.
So it comes to Moylan. Moylan just goes through hard at the line and he gets the try. Terrific effort there. I tell you what, it must be I reckon about 807 days since the last try for Jason Lees. It's been a bit of a gap for him, but great to see him get on the score sheet.
Yeah, it's always good to see a low pointer get over for a try. It's not very common that they get them, but when they do, it's a special moment for the player.
So it comes back to that board meeting. You can see Brad Duberly just working out some tactics with the Australian side. A big thank you to the naming rights sponsors, GIO, City, Land Rover, the government support of the Australian government, the state government of New South Wales, City.com, and then, of course, our great support right across the board with the Australian Defence Force, the Navy, Rugby AU, and Wheelchair Sports New South Wales. And, of course, the ball that you're seeing getting thrown around, the white and the green ball, which is pretty appropriate considering that's the same colours for the Irish, Kelvin.
Yep.
That's all thanks to Moulton.
Yeah, it is.
So wonderful to have the support of all those sponsors involved, and terrific support from the Australian Defence Force. A lot of the members you may be able to see pop up every now and then on screen. Great work for his volunteers, doing security, helping out right across the event. But the volunteers, you would have seen them yourself, Kelvin, at all different parts of either here at the Key Centre or the Netball Centre, just doing a wonderful job.
They're the unsung heroes of this event. I mean, without those volunteers here, it just can't run as smoothly as we have it now. And they deserve huge raps for just doing a lovely job, keeping everything on time, helping out, and obviously volunteering out of the goodness of their heart.
So a big crew. I think it's somewhere around the 300 mark this year, which is probably the biggest. Obviously a little bit different considering it's a world event. Hanlon back to Deneen. Oh, how special was that close to the line?
Very good hands there, very good patience, very good passing by the Irish, and it comes up trumps for them. Well done.
So nice inbound pass for Edmondson to Warren. Warren works his way nicely through the key, pops the pass across. Here comes Edmo. Edmo might work nicely, but Harrow provided some nice protection there. And it's great work for Andrew Edmondson, and he gets the try for the Australians. So 28-21, I must admit, based on the fact that Australia were 1 and the Irish side are rated 19th in the rankings, I really thought this might have been probably one of the big blowouts of the tournament. And no disrespect to Ireland, of course, but, you know, the Irish side, they're really keeping in touch with this top-level Australian side, aren't they, Kelvin?
Well, they're called the Fighting Irish for a reason. They're going to fight to the final whistle. They don't give up, and it's really good to see Ireland in this competition. It just goes to show a bit of hard work and all that. You can keep in touch with these top sides if you want to. But I enjoy watching the Irish. They fight to the end, and they need to be respected internationally now. They're proving their value to the international game here at this tournament.
It's quite funny, actually. Yesterday I was chatting with Bevan Jenkinson, and they were playing New Zealand, and I said, I want the Irish to win. And he thought because I was an Australian that I was digging it into you Kiwis. But I just want to see them get a win.
Well, in this tournament, we've seen Poland get their first ever victory at a World Champs. We've seen Colombia do it. It would be lovely to see Ireland join those two teams in getting their first victory here. But in this competition, no one hands out victories for participation, and that's what we love about the Irish. They fight to the end, win or lose, and they've earned their right to be here, and they're proving what they can do on the world stage.
So nice pass there from Deneen to O'Hanlon for the try there for the Irish, and Jaden Warren will go through for another points there for the Australians. So it brings up 30 tries for the Aussies, 30-23. The margin, as you can see, 7 points there. 2:55 to go left in this game clock as O'Hanlon works his way nicely just around that key. Just tries to come at them. Edmondson working nicely. Here comes Harrison on the flank, just trying to really shize him up. Big collision there with Andrew Edmondson. The ball almost comes loose. Tap away. Edmo only got the ball away, but he did so nicely. Lees gives it to Warren. Warren just takes it on the line. Just goes down the flank. Tries to create some sort of gap. Nice protection from Andrew Harrison. Brilliant work from Andrew Edmondson. And Jaden Warren now gets the pass to Edmo. Edmo, beautiful stuff from the Steelers.
Yeah, that was great passing there. Great composure. Creating the space, keeping the court open. Nice passing, makes it an easy job, and it looks spectacular. Well done.
So now O'Hanlon, listen to the support that the Aussies have got here at the Key Centre. Wonderful to see them here and hear them as Deneen goes through for the points. The Irish can see plenty of flags there and limericks and four-leaf clovers and everything else they've got, all the colourful green hats that they're wearing in the crowd.
Yeah, they're very colourful. They're very supportive of the Irish, and it's good to see them come all the way to this side of the world to support their team.
Nice pass inbound to Andrew Harrison from Jaden Warren, and it's 32-24 in favour of Australia inside 2 minutes before that half-time break as Kira Staunton comes on. She's one of 5 women in the wheelchair rugby family across the 12 teams that make up this side. And you as a Kiwi, you would have seen a lot of Maya Marshall, a relative of Benji Marshall, who plays for the West Tigers in the NRL. A terrific player for the Kiwis, and so great to see so many women in this sport and doing so well.
It's great to see them participating and not just filling up numbers. They're actually succeeding, proving their worth on the team. And when you see what they do out there on the court, they're there because they deserve to be there. And it's good to see 5 females. It shows the future that more women can get involved in the sport and play at a high level.
We mentioned off-air Isabella Rubak for Poland. Terrific player, not afraid to get her hands dirty and get into the fight. And she really creates some great opportunities for players like Krzysztof Kapusta, who is scoring so many tries for the Polish side.
The Polish have really stepped up here. And, yeah, like you say, she's not afraid of getting physical. She goes out there. She's like Maya. They like a good physical battle. They've got great speed. They've got great composure. They're very accurate with passing. And it goes to show that women can compete and dominate at this game.
Nice pass from Deneen inbound to Michael O'Hanlon, and the try comes for Ireland there. So 33-25 in favour of the home side. 8 points the margin. Nice pass inbound from Edmondson to Harrison. Harrison just trying to work. He might go over the top here. Jason Lees is providing some nice protection. Gives O'Hanlon a bit of a shunt. Now Harrison works it nicely. Jabs works nicely in protection there for the Australians. Harrow comes inside the attacking key. Brilliant work from Jason Lees to defend the line. Now Harrison just aims up, gives it to Andrew Edmondson. They have to reset here a little bit, the Aussies, as the Irish are just starting to find and work them out here. Jason Lees works protection left and right. Andrew Edmondson, and the points go to Edmo. And the try goes to the Steelers. 34-25 as Staunton gives the ball inbound to Deneen. Deneen will work his way across court, just tries to find some opportunities there. Great protection from O'Hanlon. Here comes Deneen down the left flank, as you can see. Staunton working hard in protection. Nice work, tapped away by Edmondson, picked up by Jason Lees, but now it goes to McCarthy, and McCarthy will play the ball, tries to get the molten ball out of his hands. You can see all the players battling for it. Deneen, the little bulldog, picks it up. Take us through that call. It might have been a hand on the player, was it, Kelvin?
That looks like an illegal use of hands by Harrison for Australia there. So he has made illegal contact onto Deneen without having control of the ball. So he must go to the bin and sit his minute penalty or until the Irish score.
So it goes inbound from Staunton across to the captain in McCarthy. And John McCarthy scores the try there for Ireland. 34-25 now. 2 seconds to go before half-time. Harrow, can he? No. Can't quite get the ball, as you could see it going out of bounds and just hitting the corner post. So 0.9 of a second left on the clock in this opening clash here between Australia and Ireland. We're just at half-time. We hope we can have your company for the remaining 2 quarters. John O'Farr and Kelvin Hewitt in commentary. We hope you've enjoyed the first half. We'll take a break. On the other side, all the action of the second half.
Hello, Jean. Good of you to let your husband borrow your brand new car. Your insurance covers you, though, right?
I think so.
Ah, Jenny, you got a new employee and a new Narazzo 1300. That machine's insured, isn't it? Date night, eh?
Yeah, and our daughter's having a few friends over.
Yeah, I saw that on social media. I take it your home is insured for that. Don't just think you're covered, know you are with GIO.
See, feel, climb. First out, last in. Look round corners, look in crannies. Go down dark alleys, lose yourself. Catch a lift, break new ground. Turn things inside out. Go walkabout, get set. Go after the goosebumps. Never stop discovering.
Linda, Lindsay, Look at you two. Date night?
Our daughter set it up.
Well, that is a thoughtful child.
I know, right? She even booked us dinner in a hotel. She might even have a few friends over.
Yeah, I reckon there's 120 people coming to your house tonight. You are insured, aren't you? Don't just think your home is covered. Know it is. With accidental damage cover with GIO Platinum Home Insurance.
And for some of the students who might be a bit unfamiliar with wheelchair rugby, you'll notice that some of the athletes out there are using different pieces of equipment. And that is because all the athletes have a classification. And this classification is a measure of their functional physical ability. And it ranges from 0.5, which is the lowest, and 3.5, which is the highest. So players with different classifications play different roles on the course. So those with a classification of 3.5, like you might notice here, number 3, Riley Batt. He's a classification 3.5 and he's a major ball handler with very fast playmaking skills. Those with a classification of 0.5, their main role is blocking. Of course, a lot of people are going to making this tournament a success. And the IWRF is a major part of that. This year, of course, marks the 25th anniversary of the International Wheelchair Rugby Federation. Created in 1993 as the governing body for the sport of wheelchair rugby. The IWRF would like to thank all the athletes, coaches, officials, volunteers and supporters who have contributed to the great sport. They look forward to many, many more years of growing and supporting the global wheelchair rugby.
He's got a few actually, McCarthy. Yeah, he got a couple against us. They do a very good pass over the top to him. Yeah. He sits in the corner.
And if you do know someone who needs a new wheelchair rugby chair, or if you're a participant, your rugby chair's looking a little worn and tattered, well, this Friday on August 10 at the 2018 World Championship, the IWRF will be auctioning off a best go competition wheelchair valued at almost $9,000. The good news is that all auction proceeds will go to support the IWRF Hall of Fame, which is sponsored by Vesco Aircraft. So if this sounds like something you might be pretty keen on, by all means, you can sign up in advance to participate. For more information, visit IWRF.com.
And welcome back to second half action of this clash between Australia and Ireland. As you can see, the Australians in the lead, but only narrowly 34-26. And Deneen just reduces that margin there. John O'Farr and Kelvin Hewitt in commentary this morning for this clash. It should be a great game. Australia looking to continue their unbeaten streak with wins over New Zealand, Sweden and Denmark. Looks like a pretty simple contest for the Australians, but these are the sort of contests that you've really got to be staying alert, because it can really shift if Ireland get a win here for their confidence.
Yeah, you've got to stay switched on the whole time, because if anything changes and all of a sudden Ireland get their tails up, things become a lot more difficult for the Australians, and it doesn't take long to peg back 3 or 4 goals. It's one of those games where momentum shifts just like that, and the Irish aren't going to go away. So Aussie really need to keep on their game and not let up for a minute.
So Deneen works it nicely and goes in at the line. So 35-28 now, the margin, 7 points with just over 7 to play before three-quarter time. A couple of different changes. You can see Nicholson there in the 21 jumper causing all sorts of problems with John McCarthy. Andrew Edmondson goes inside the attacking half. Nice protection from Jason Lees on the flank. And they go through for the try. So another one for Edmo, the New South Welshman. And the Irish now through Stephen Almer, who's a fresh player for them. On bound, gives it nicely to Deneen. Deneen works it nicely. Kira Staunton just working her way nicely into this game. Big collision there with Jaden Warren. Deneen gets a nice pass away. Stephen Almer now battles with Josh Nicholson. And Nico just tries to go inside. Comes back to Deneen. Deneen comes hard. Great work from Kira Staunton to distract Jaden Warren. And a terrific try there for the Irish, Kelvin.
Yeah, they did well spreading the court there, creating the space for Deneen. And like you say, Staunton taking Warren away for Deneen, allowing him that little space to go through and score that try.
Comes away for Jaden Warren, gives it nicely to Lees. Lees, smart little pass back to Warren. Pops it up on his chest, tries to get the Moulton ball away. Now he works well, Andrew Edmondson in defence. Warney trying to work it nicely. The cheeky little Victorian from Ballarat now trying to work his way through the line. Goes hard and he gets the points. Great stuff from the Australians.
Very well done by Lees there. Really come across the court, took the defender with him, gave that space to Warren to just wheel on through.
Now it comes back in field, so Aylmer gives the ball away nicely to Deneen. Deneen just goes at the line. Comes there, Warren, Edmondson trying to battle. Nice work. Aylmer protects. And the penalty try goes the way for Ireland on that occasion to Alan Deneen. As Nicholson will just try and inbound it here, looking for some options. Pops it up to the Victorian in Jaden Warren. Has the New South Welshman Andrew Edmondson in his sights. Might look for him there. The Queenslander in Nicholson will goes hard at the line. Tries to distract Deneen. Nice work from Warren. Beautiful hands. Jason Lees works it well. Can the veteran go in for a try? Go, big fella. Gives it away to Edmondson. Edmondson back to Warren. Warren has Nicholson in his sights. Lees up the flank. Trying to work it nicely. Now, Jaden Warren just working it hard. Goes nice at the line, left and right. Brilliant protection, Jason Lees. Great try, Jaden Warren. That's wonderful stuff from the Steelers, Kelvin.
Yeah, it's very good creating space, very good using their screens. Jason Lees, a smart man. He just comes in, pops in the right places, creates that space for the open man, and allows Warren and Edmondson to do their job. He's a very good player, Mr. Lees.
So the try goes to the Irish there. So 38-31. Nicholson will inbound it. Nice head-on shot there from the boys at the B Live streaming team. Gives it nicely back into Edmondson. Edmondson works it. Jason Lees nicely in protection. Here comes Kira Staunton. Edmo will just slow it down nicely. Won't soak up too much time on the clock with 26 seconds to go on the shot clock. And he'll go through for that try. 38-31. Now, and there must have been a timeout called before that try there, was there, Kelvin?
Just after the try was scored, the Australians have called a coach's timeout. So they're just going to go over there, take their 60 seconds to reassess their strategies, their plan, their game plan, take a breather, keep their composure, and hopefully come back and try and put these Fighting Irish away.
So you can see the Aussies just having a board meeting. Lees on the left of screen, Andrew Edmondson with his back to us, Nicholson on the right, and Jaden Warren now just coming back onto court in the 23 jumper. Nicholson goes straight to work and has a bit of a collision there with Alan Deneen. Here comes Jason Lees with that. So they will inbound it. Plays it at the line. Nicely works to
really good
Alan
job.
Deneen, and the try goes to the Island side.
Really good job there by Nicholson, coming out attacking the Irish while they weren't ready, forcing Deneen to inbound. Now Lees and Nicholson have caught him down on the baseline, and it's going to make it hard work for the Irish here.
Great work across to Aylmer, but a big collision there. Edmo and Warren give massive trouble to McCarthy. And, geez, they really came together. Take us through this replay, Kelvin.
Yeah, well, trapping Deneen made it hard, so here Elmer had to pass over to McCarthy, and when you've got a low pointer going for the ball, the two Aussies come in and absolutely pound him, getting the turnover.
Nice pass away to Edmondson. Here goes Nicholson. Nicholson goes at the line. The big Queenslander gets some points. Great to see Josh Nicholson getting a try for the Australians. So much versatility. We saw Jason Lee score earlier, and now Josh Nicholson, he gets his first try of the game.
Yeah, it's good to see him in the game. He's very fast in that low point chair. He's got a lot of weight to him, so it helps him control stronger, higher pointed players, and he does a wonderful job for the Australians.
Stephen Alma now working it nicely. Jaden Warren just on his tail. Here comes Andrew Edmondson coming at the line. Kira Staunton in some open court. McCarthy just protecting Jason Lees. Goes the pass over from Alma to Staunton. And Kira Staunton goes at the line left and right. Does well there. Nicholson was coming up late, gave her some grief, but she did well to get the try there, Kelvin.
Yeah, she stayed composed, took the hit from Nicholson, found she had enough room, turned her chair the right way and got herself over for a try.
Lees works it nicely to Warren. Warren just battles through the line, comes hard, goes inside that defensive line. Aylmer comes across, nice pass over the top from Warren to Edmondson, and Edmo will get the try. So 40-32, the margin, now 8. It becomes 9 with that try. So now the Irish now on the attack, the Aussies on defence. Aylmer gives it into Deneen. Deneen has Staunton on the left flank, as you can see at the top of your screen. Deneen works it nicely, plays it left and right, through the gap, past Warren and Lees. And Alan Deneen scores the try. 3:54 left in this third term, the championship quarter as they call it. Comes away to Warren. Warren passes to Edmondson. Edmondson has the ball, spins and turns around. Aylmer completely bamboozles him. Great work from Andrew Edmondson, showing a bit of experience there.
Yeah, that's just experience. The Irish defender there, he turned. You can't just be doing circles on the court, and Edmondson using his experience to just bamboozle him and wander on over for a nice, easy try.
Deneen working his way nicely up court, trying to get past Edmondson. Does particularly well in that occasion. Brilliant protection there from McCarthy on the far left of your screen. Deneen working nicely. Just goes at the line, spins and turns. Great work from Aylmer in attack. He's trying to defend. Kira Staunton's trying to get Warren off the case of Nicholson. They distracted them beautifully. The pass to Deneen from him to Aylmer. And Ireland have scored that try. So 42-33. And it looks as though a coaching timeout has been called.
Ireland have called their final coaching timeout, and that's all the timeouts used for this match. That was the last one. It looks like Ireland have used it to get some subs into this game and see if they can make a good run at a comeback here. Try and catch up the Australians.
Well, the fourth term, you always see that intensity lift a little bit more, and especially that margin, it's only 8 points. So, in that final term, if the Irish can force a few mistakes, they're really in for a chance in this one, aren't they?
They are. They're in for a good chance. They just got to figure out how they can stop Riley, because Australia, if they start to get into a tight situation, believe you me, I'd be putting Riley back on. And as we see now, Riley's come back on just to give those other young fellas a bit of a break, just keeping the whole team fresh. It's a smart move by the coach of Australia.
So 2 Queenslanders combined there, and Nicholson and Bond, and it goes away to Riley Batt, and Batt just works his way nicely through the line. And Riley Batt gets the points on that occasion, but there's been a spill for the Irish. I think it's Stephen Aylmer that's gone to ground. Yep. So you can see him there on screen. And the crew for the Irish side will come out and just get him back on 2 wheels. So it's good to see him back on 2 wheels and not injured. Thankfully, touch wood, we haven't seen too many major injuries in this tournament, Kelvin.
Nah, considering the collisions we've had and some of the epic fallouts and spills we've had, it's really good to see that there's been no serious injuries to any players. And they do have these rules in place to try and prevent such big injuries happening in the case of a spill, but it does happen.
So great protection close to the line from Riley Batt, but he couldn't stop Thomas Moylan. Nice little battle there from the master and the apprentice.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Yeah, the up-and-comer versus the experience. Moylan has a lot to learn, but he's doing very well. And Riley, he's going to use all his experience to outfox the young buck.
So Andrew Harrison gets the try for that particular set there, and 44-35 the score is. 2.5 to go before three-quarter time. As Ireland just try and work it up the line. Nicely worked there from Aylmer. Aylmer battles his way through nicely. Great protection from the captain and John McCarthy. Look at Riley Batt working his way through. Moylan just taps it through but can't get it away. And Andrew Harrison will get it back to Riley Batt. Batt just works it nicely at the line. Will Doggett there on the court. He's providing some good protection. He bamboozles Aylmer, Riley Batt, and the great head-on shot gives you that angle of that particular try. 45-35. Great work from the camera from the B Live streaming team on that occasion. As Aylmer now works his way nicely through up court. Just tries to go inside that attacking zone, but again, the pass goes astray, and Nicholson here will sit back and watch it go out of bounds. Great thanks to our sponsors, GIO, City, Land Rover, of course the Australian Government, State Government of New South Wales, City.com, then all the wonderful support from the Defence Force, the Australian Defence Force, the Navy, Rugby AU and Wheelchair Sports New South Wales. So, Kelvin, some wonderful sponsors involved in this terrific sport.
Just like the volunteers, without the sponsors, we can't have this prestigious event, and it's really appreciated from all those sponsors to come in and help just such a wonderful sport grow. It's starting to get more airtime on TV, and the only way to get more volunteers is have that, and to have that you need sponsors. So thank you very much to all sponsors involved.
Yeah, and a big thank you to our naming rights sponsors, GIO. They've been a wonderful support for wheelchair rugby. I've been involved in the sport for about 6 years, and I think they've been involved for about 4 or 5 of them. So that's wonderful for the sport going forward as Andrew Harrison gets the particular try on that occasion. And the Irish inbound it. Nicely worked to Aylmer. Aylmer plays it from McCarthy. Just playing it there, but Riley Batt, look at the way he just works his way nicely around the key. Tries to fire the ball away, Aylmer. Aylmer fires it over the top, gives it beautifully to McCarthy. But he couldn't quite hold it. He spills his lollies, and the molten ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, it was a risk versus reward pass there for the Irish. Unfortunately, the risk outweighed the reward, and he couldn't hold it.
Great pick up there from Riley Batt. Just such an opportunist, isn't he? Just picking up the loose scraps on that occasion and going through for the try. So the Irish still inbound it here through McCarthy. McCarthy will fire it to Moylan. Moylan, big wrecking machine, but look at Riley Batt working his way nicely. Up the right flank goes Moylan. Here comes Nicholson. Here comes Harrison. They both miss him. Thomas Moylan. Jeez. Could have been excused to be put into touch there, but really the size and strength of him was just wonderful on display there.
And the speed from the big man. Like, wow. I thought that both Aussie defenders had him covered, and he just put the hammer down, and away he went. It was very well done by Moylan. Let's just hope he has more of this to come for future years, and who knows, him and Riley could have a right tussle one-on-one.
So works it nicely to Aylmer. Aylmer just has a couple of attempts at there. Gets the pass to Moylan, but it'll come loose. And Riley Batt scoops it up. Beautiful hands. Riley Batt swings left, right, through. That's an impressive goal from the Batman. Wonderful stuff from the Steelers. That brings up 50 points. Take us through this replay, Kelvin.
It was a poor pass to Moylan. And Riley, like you say, the experience, just to be able to meander, use his core, get through, direct that chair, get it up on 2 wheels at that speed and score the try. It's well done by Riley.
Nice pass from Moylan to Aylmer. Aylmer works it hard, but look at Riley Batt, taps away, and the molten ball comes loose. Jeez, if he's not scoring classy goals, he's doing that in a defensive role. He's so versatile, isn't he?
He's just a beast, that man. He's everywhere. You blink twice and he's in front of you. He could be at the other end of the court. He's just so talented. He's absolute quality, and you can see why he's been the best player in the world for such a long time. Utter professional, good man, great player.
So it comes across to Aylmer, nicely to Will Doggett. And Will Doggett gets his name on the score sheet for the Irish. The crowd that are here in attendance supporting the Irish, they are very appreciative of that goal. Maybe some of Will's family here today. Or we thank our audience. Maybe it's probably very late in the evening, I'd say, back home in Ireland, but I'm sure there's plenty of people watching this one back home, or let's hope so.
I'd imagine there'll be a fair few of the Irish up watching there and supporting their team. And their team isn't doing anything too wrong here. They're just up against a full quality side in Australia, and that man right there, Riley Batt.
So the siren sounds for three-quarter time. We've got a great game on our hands here. 3 quarters down, 1 to go. The score 51-38 in favour of Australia. We'll take a break. On the other side, stay with us, all the action of the final turn.
Hello, Jean. Good of you to let your husband borrow your brand new car. Your insurance covers you, though, right?
I think so.
Ah, Jenny, you got a new employee and a new Narazzo 1300. That machine's insured, isn't it? Date night, eh?
Yeah, and our daughter's having a few friends over.
Yeah, I saw that on social media. I take it your home is insured for that. Don't just think you're covered, know you are with GIO.
See, feel, climb. First out, last in. Look round corners, look in crannies. Go down dark alleys, lose yourself. Catch a lift, break new ground. Turn things inside out. Go walkabout, get set. Go after the goosebumps. Never stop discovering.
Linda, Lindsay, look at you two. Date night?
Our daughter set it up.
Well, that is a thoughtful child.
I know, right? She even booked us dinner in a hotel. She might even have a few friends over.
Yeah, I reckon there's 120 people coming to your house tonight. You are insured, aren't you? Don't just think your home is covered. Know it is. With accidental damage cover with GIO Platinum Home Insurance.
Let's welcome both teams on, ladies and gentlemen, as we enter into the fourth period here of Australia versus Ireland.
And welcome back to the Key Centre for the final term in this game between Australia and Ireland. As you can see, the Aussies leading 51-38. And it will be inbound shortly with Jaden Warne. John O'Farr and Kelvin Hewitt in commentary this morning. Wonderful to have you here, Kelvin. Obviously, one half of the Hewitt family with your brother Rob playing for the Wheel Blacks.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I've really enjoyed it. I was only here as a spectator and got put into this role voluntarily and thoroughly enjoyed it. It's amazing to see just the talent that's around the world in all countries playing this lovely game that we call wheelchair rugby. And it's a privilege to be able to join yourself in commentating a game.
Stephen Aylmer comes in there for the try. So 7.5 to go in this game, 52-39 in favour of the Steelers. And it'll be Jake Howe that inbounds it. Jake Howe scored a couple of tries against Sweden, I think it was, at the Netball Centre, which was wonderful to see, and it shows you the versatility in this side. Ben Fawcett working way nicely as Jaden Warne takes it up. Kira Staunton battles hard, tries to go at the line. Riley Batt blocks up Alan Dineen, and Jaden Warne gets the points on that particular occasion. So Kira Staunton, she'll work it nicely inbound. Great low camera shot there from the boys at the Be Live streaming team. Worked it nicely back in field to Dineen. Dineen just working his way through some heavy traffic. You can see Bondi giving him some grief. Pass over the top. Brilliant stuff from Aylmer, but it can't be picked up by him again as Chris Bond goes through. And he gets the points and the try on that particular occasion. So Ireland, they seem to have a little bit of connectivity there, didn't they, Kelvin? But just a little bit of ill discipline let them down.
Yeah, and in the pass, he's caught just on the halfway line. It was going to be a turnover either way. He was throwing and hoping that a free man would have got to the ball, but unfortunately, when you got pace like Bondi out there, it's just not so easy to get into that space, collect the ball, and carry on.
Jaden Moore, nice pass downtown, a Victorian to a Queenslander. Chris Bond slams the Moulton ball down and gets the try. Another one for his tally. As Kira Staunton will come back inbound. Nice little pass across court, but can't find her desired player. I think she was going for Stephen Aylmer. It'll be picked up by Jaden Warne. Geez, great presence of mind there. He must have been probably about 3 or 4 centimetres away from that sideline as Warne comes back at the line through Staunton, past McCarthy, and in for the try. But just such great awareness in the chair, isn't it? You know, you could see Jaden Warne on that occasion so close to the sideline, but he just didn't panic.
Didn't panic, kept composed, picked the ball up, and took it all the way to the other end for a try.
As Aylmer takes it at the line. Have a look at Chris Bond coming at there. Just tries to hold him up there. Kira Staunton just nicely protecting him there. As Aylmer sets sail. Looks like it's McCarthy who's coming in for protection. And Aylmer, did he just run out of room there on that occasion, Kelvin?
Yeah, that big hit coming in by Warren just pushed him enough to go over the touchline, and that's a turnover to the Australians. Unfortunately for the Irish, they looked like they were trying to set up a play, but Warren read the play well, come in, hit him, took him out of touch.
Nice pass away from Chris Bond, great hands, Jaden Warren. And that low shot provides a nice little camera angle there for that particular try. 57-39 now for Australia. So they look as though they're going to pick up their next victory in the tournament and remain undefeated. Of course, I'd be interested to see the results of the Japan-Denmark game, which is currently underway at the Netball Centre. That'll be a terrific contest. Hard to pick a winner, really, based on how Japan were against Sweden yesterday, Kelvin.
And how well Denmark have come back into this competition with their victories that they've had. They had a little hiccup against Australia, but who hasn't? It's now it's just starting to see their cream rise to the top, and it's hard to, on their day, anyone can beat anyone, so it's hard to know.
So Kira Staunton will reset after Jaden Warren got that particular try for Australia. 58-40 in favour of the Steelers. Goes to Aylmer, now to Staunton. Staunton, nice little collision there with Jaden Warren. He tries to get the Molten ball away, but Deneen says, no, not on my time. And he goes hard at the line, tries to get the pass away, draw the player in beautifully. And the McCarthy captain will go in for the Irish. Terrific stuff, 58-41. Good hustle there from the Irish there, Kelvin.
Yeah, good spread into the court, good creating options up high, good passing, direct passing to the low pointers, and it come up good for them there.
Inbound pass nicely from Howe to Bond. Bond works it nicely. Brilliant protection, Jake Howe. He's got Aylmer, 6s and 7s. Nice work from Bond. Just keeps McCarthy busy. Jaden Warren locks out Deneen. Hard thing to do. And the Queenslander and Bondy will go through for the try. So Australia build on their lead. 59-41 now. Just under 5 to play. Wonderful support from GIO, the naming rights sponsor. They've been involved for a number of years. City, Land Rover, the Australian government, the New South Wales state government, Sydney.com, and of course all the support from the Australian Defence Force, the Navy, Rugby AU and Wheelchair Sports New South Wales as we go back to live action. And it's Aylmer that works it up nicely up the court. Has Staunton just nicely protecting Warren. Warren tries to tap it. Brilliant pass to Deneen. Deneen now coming at Warren. Battles hard. Tries to go at the line. Good work there from Fawcett to try and get the ball. But a brilliant interception there from Jaden Warren. Here he comes, Deneen, trying to regather that possession. But what a turnover there for the Steelers. Brilliant work from Jaden Warren, and he deserved the try.
Great read of the play there. He played in between the two players, expecting the pass to come. He got his hand to it, grabbed, picked it up with both hands, and just went one-on-one with Deneen, and unfortunately for Ireland, Deneen couldn't catch him. Well played, very smart by Warren. Good work by the Australians, good defence.
So 60-41 in favour of the Steelers. Kira Staunton's about to get that Molten ball in a cart momentarily. She'll inbound it. She has a couple of options just on her left. Goes across to Deneen, over the head of McCarthy. Staunton working the flank. Look at her zip up there nicely. Deneen working away, needs to get the pass away. Smart overhead pass. Beautiful catch, McCarthy. Great connectivity from the Irish. And Aylmer will score the try. 60-42. You know, for a side that's just in their first tournament, they can really turn it on and show us a bit of swish when they want to, can't they?
Oh, they can play some great football, the Irish, and it's good to see. It's only going to strengthen the world game, having them involved in it. And just watching the catch and pass from them at times, it's just picturesque. It's beautiful to watch.
Great stuff from Bondy, working hard to get around from Deneen. Staunton's coming there. Deneen on the tail of Chris Bond, and the Queenslander gets some more points for the Steelers. 61-42 now. 3:51 left in this final term and the game. As Aylmer gets a nice pass. The low shot shows it well. Comes there to Deneen. Deneen works well. Staunton creating all sorts of havocs. Great pass over the top. Couldn't quite get it. Warren. Brilliant hands there in control of the Molten ball. Gives it back to Bond. Bond does well. Oh, it's like he had Velcro on his hands for that one, Bondy. Great stuff for the Steelers. So it's a real back and forth contest. I mean, you see Ireland really click and connect like we just did there, but you see that basic turnover, and Australia can really turn it on here.
Yeah, just like that there. It just comes down. Maybe the Irish are a little fatigued I'm not sure, but their passing has just seemed to go off kilter here, and it's not doing them any favours, because this Australian team, you give them half a sniff and they're going to take it.
63-42, the try there for the Australians coming up. And there'll be a switch of play. Michael Ozan comes back onto the court. Riley Batt's back on the court. Bondi will stay on the court. And it looks like Ben Fawcett is the man. No, it's Michael Ozan is the man. So, actually, no, both players are there. The two bearded twins in Michael Ozan and Ben Fawcett.
Glorious beards that they are, indeed.
Comes away for the Irish. Nice pass away there to McCarthy. McCarthy will tap it beautifully, but it'll go into some open court. Riley Batt won't even bother going after it. And with 28 seconds left on that shot clock, the ball will go out of bounds. Now, 2018 marks the 25th anniversary of the International Wheelchair Rugby Federation. It was created in 1993 as the governing body for the sport of wheelchair rugby. The IWRF would love to thank all the athletes, the coaches, the officials, the volunteers and supporters. They all do a wonderful job who have contributed to this great sport, and they look forward to many more years of growing the sport in this global wheelchair rugby family as Chris Bond takes it up to the line. And he gets the try on that occasion, 64-42 now, under 3 to play in this contest between Australia and Ireland. Opening clash at the Key Centre here on day 4 of the 2018 IWRF GIO Wheelchair Rugby Championship. O'Hanlon now on the court for Ireland, working his way nicely through the key. Tries to get out of that attacking line. Look at the way Riley Batt's coming hard. McCarthy in attack. He taps it away. Tries to get it for Staunton. Staunton was probably about a metre too far ahead of where she needed to be, but if that pass had connected, there were definite points and a try for the Irish.
Yeah, it was just unlucky for McCarthy there. He had a Chris Bond coming in hot on him, and you don't want to sit there and try and catch that ball because you're going to end up on your back. So he did what he thought was right and the best he could, and unfortunately Staunton overran the pass, and Ireland just drove it on. Australia just drove it on home for another try.
So Staunton, inbound pass nicely to O'Hanlon. Riley Batt just tries to tap it at the Batman. Here comes O'Hanlon through the middle. Riley Batt again has another swat at the ball. Kira Staunton protecting it nicely. Look at the determination of Riley Batt. Ozan coming in there, and the ball eventually comes loose. Was it tapped loose there, Kelvin?
Yeah, it looks like Riley's got a hand to the ball, rolled it off O'Hanlon's leg, so it will be Ireland's ball as he didn't play at the ball as it rolled off. But it just goes to show the versatility of Riley. Not only is he express pace, he's just doing all the little nitty-gritty jobs. There you see him take the ball off him again. Now he's putting pressure on, and he's got the ball back. He's a key in attack. He's a key in defence. He's just everywhere. The man is an absolute beast on court.
So at 12:30, of course, USA-Poland. That'll be here at the Key Centre. That'll be the next one here. Japan-Denmark are currently in progress at the Netball Centre. They'd be in the same area that we are, deep into that fourth term, as Riley Batt goes in for another try. And then a little bit later, the next game at the Netball Centre, Canada-Colombia. Canada have been a team that been disappointing, really. They've had a number of losses. They went down to France, a side that they were expected to beat on that first day. So it's been a bit of a disappointing tournament, unfortunately, for the Canadians.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Canadians, they haven't put their best foot forward. And then to rub salt into the wound, the Polish come out, played an outstanding game, controlled the game for large portions of it, and got their first victory here at the expense of the Canadians. I'm not sure where they went wrong, but it's been a big fall from grace for the Canadians that have been so strong for so many years. Now they're finding out how it is for the rest of the world, the Irish, the New Zealanders, the Colombians, that your rise to the top can only last as long as the players will take you.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing the US side. First time for me to call them in this competition. I think Colombia and New Zealand are the only teams I haven't seen. But the US against Poland. Poland are a team that have really tested a couple of teams. So this should be a good clash, the next one here at the Key Centre.
Yeah, well, look what Poland did against Canada. If they can hold their composure and play to their strengths, and the USA take them lightly, we could see another upset going to the way of the Polish. But USA, they're very strong. You don't want to be taking the Polish any lighter than you have to. Their key defence has been one of the strongest of the competition. and they'll really give USA a good battle.
Good challenge for players that we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Kapustar, Schwostak, and of course Isabella Rubak. So some strong players there for Poland, but should be a good test against a really quality side in the US.
Yeah, it'll just go to show how far they've come and where they need to be. And that's one thing the Irish can take from this game. They see where they want to be. They want to be in Australia's position. Now they just have to find a way of working towards that. And Poland have been climbing the world rankings steadily. And if America take them lightly, we could find another upset in the way of the Polish.
So 67-44 in favour of Australia in this one as Bondi gets the ball for the Steelers. Listen to the crowd rise when they get the ball. Wonderful support for the Steelers here on their home turf. Of course, they're looking to be the first side to defend their title on home turf. It's never happened in the history of the Wheelchair Rugby World Championship, which started in 1995 as Deneen works it for Ireland. Tries to thread the needle, but beautifully worked there from Ozanne. Nicely played back away from Staunton. She can't control it. Goes back across there to Chris Bond. Bond just works his way nicely. Tries to play it to the line. Just goes hard there, left and right. Tries to get the pass back across to Ben Fawcett, but Chris Bond will get the try. And another one for the Queenslander. So 69-44 with just over 30 seconds to play in this contest as Kira Staunton inbounds it. Nicely played to O'Hanlon. O'Hanlon left and right down the flank. Riley back. In fact, it's Chris Bond trying to get his way across there. Here comes Ben Force in an attack. Tapped it over Bondi's head. He created enough of a distraction for Alan Deneen, and the ball will go out of bounds. So 19 seconds left. So another win for the Australians. They defeated New Zealand on the first day. They then defeated Sweden at the Netball Centre. And, of course, they had a win against Denmark yesterday. So it'll be 4 from 4 for the Australian Steelers here, Kelvin.
Yeah, it's been they've been putting a class show on, the Australians, for their home support. And wherever you play Australia is going to be tough, but the Aussies have really gone up a level for their home crowd and their friends, their family. It's going to be tough to see someone beating them at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris Bond gets probably the final points of the game here, 70-44. Staunton will inbound it. O'Hanlon just soaking up the clock. Riley Batt still trying to get the molten ball out of the hands of Michael O'Hanlon. But the final siren sounds. A wonderful clash here this morning at the Key Centre in Homebush. It's Australia winning 70 points to 44. A terrific game. Australia clearly the dominant side, but pretty good a performance from the Irish. They'd be proud of this against a really solid opposition in the Australians.
Yeah, they didn't give up. They fought all the way to the last whistle, and against the Irish, against the Australians, we've seen how strong they can be in their demolition of Sweden. So Ireland can definitely hold their head high here. They were in it for long periods of the game, and Aussie are just a force to be reckoned with.
So the next game on the card here at the Key Centre will be USA-Poland. I'm looking forward to seeing the United States side. First time for me. I've seen Poland a number of times, but it should be a great clash. We hope we can have your company there. But if you want to see any game, whether it be a live game or a game you may have missed, head online, 2018 WRWC.com. My name is John O'Farr. Look at these scenes here at Homebush. The Australian Steelers celebrating their 4th win of the tournament. It's a win 70-44 over the Irish. My name's John O'Farr. Thanks very much for your company for this one. On behalf of Kelvin Hewitt, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next step for USA Poland.